and went back to Nicola to say like morning, and I just couldn't speak. I went to the bathroom, turned the tap on, went to like chop water on my face mat. My arm was like, didn't come up. Like, no way at 30 years old am I having a stroke. That's what I was saying. I was screaming it. Even like my parents were like, if you don't become like a footballer, you probably won't do anything. Because I was living at my mom's parents and driving Nicola's purple KA. Always going to be an entrepreneur because I felt like I'm unemployable. And now we're disconnected. Loneliest generation has ever been. It's not 18 to 25, it's across ages and genders. Like, I speak to my mom, she's lonely. I speak to my 21-year-old sister, she's lonely. And the 21-year-olds don't have a social networking right now, so we're here to change that. Even if I was given 200 million, I would still wake up tomorrow and do CLIQ.
Jason, how are we doing, mate?
I'm good. I'm really good, actually.
Welcome to the Driven Podcast. How's things?
Really good. Exciting times. Busy. Busy's good, right? I'd much rather be busy than not, so.
Yeah. So, in one line, who's Jason? What's driving you at the minute?
In one line, I'm an entrepreneur. Probably always going to be an entrepreneur because I feel like I'm unemployable.
Yep.
And being driven, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Being driven to me is getting up every single day and doing the hard things. Like, I feel that motivation comes and goes, but being driven is like doing the small things every single day, the 1%. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, doing the hard things for me is like being driven.
Keep pushing.
Always.
And what's driving you at the minute?
I think the opportunity. I don't think you get many opportunities to build a business like CLIQ. So we always talk about this yesterday, me and Nicola, about there's opportunity really to build $1 billion company, but also impact 1 billion lives. Not many people get to do that.
Nope.
So for us, I can't leave a stone unturned. If I do, I'm going to regret it. And I'm happy to play it out, whatever that looks like. And if it is 1 million users, 2 million, whatever. But there is a potential it could go that far. So I have to like do everything.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because I remember one of our first conversations a year or so ago, a year and a half ago, and you said to me, I want to build $1 billion company. And that to me is what being driven is all about. You know, you've got that focus and that desire to go and really smash it. But let's go back to the start. So where is your aspiration, your ambition to be an entrepreneur? Where's that come from?
I think a chip on the shoulder always. I think, I think it's a chip on the shoulder. I think I'm driven by that. Like at school, I wasn't really academically great. I was into sport and I was pretty good at football. And then I broke my ankle really early on, like 16, 17, when you're supposed to get like semi-pro contracts. And as soon as that happened, I just didn't have anything to fall back on. And even like my parents were like, if you don't become like a footballer, you probably like won't do anything. And like even my friends said the same. So I was like, what am I going to do? And then I was like, I just need to get out of my situation. I just need to leave my town, which is in the north of England, get away from my environment and just like booked a one-way flight to Thailand. And I was like, if I go there, I will figure it out. And then met a lot of people, got to see like the world and how people interact, and then just like kind of fell into this business, the first business.
So how old was you when you went to Thailand?
22, I think, yeah. So in between that, I went to university because I was like, actually, if I go to university, I'll figure it out there. But really, I didn't. Yeah. And I was just like meeting people again, getting out of my comfort zone. But yeah, it was really, for me, it was just trying to find like what I wanted to do. Because I didn't really know a plan. I wanted to open up a bar, actually. Oh, but I think I was just young and I was like, I wanted to go out.
Yeah,
so I was like,
maybe partying.
Exactly.
So if I remember rightly, you booked, was it a 3-month travelling holiday or going travelling? Didn't quite last for 3 months though, did it?
No, it ended up being like 2.5 years, which is insane.
Yeah.
So it was just, okay, if we go away 3 months, we'll experience a lot, we'll meet a lot of people, we just have a lot of culture, right? And then before you know it, we're in Australia, we're meeting people there. And then I think with Australia, have you been to Australia before?
I haven't, no.
It's like the UK, but like 5-6 years behind.
Okay.
So like technology, fashion sense, music, everything. So when we went there, we seen a lot of opportunities for businesses that are already happening in the UK. And it just, like being young and naive, it was like, how hard can it be to start? And that's like the trait we've always had. It's like you said, if you knew how hard it was going to be, you definitely wouldn't start, right?
Yeah,
You just wouldn't.
No.
And that's like the thing for us is like, okay, had this first idea and started playing around with it then.
Okay. So what was that first sort of spark or entrepreneurial hustle that you sort of fell into?
Yeah, I think it was Nicola. She was a really big makeup artist in the UK. We moved to, obviously went traveling, moved to Australia, and she was finding it really difficult to build up a network. So she came home to me one day and said, I wish there was a website where I could put my services on and people could book me. It was just a really simple idea. And I was like, oh, okay, that must be already a thing. Let me go and look for it. You go to work and I'll start looking at it. I'll have you on that site by the end of the day. I was searching and I was like, why can I not find like freelancers or like how to book a makeup artist to my room or masseuse or hairdresser? And I was just like, looking even more and I could find like salons and booking platforms, the huge ones, and they were like 100, 200 million pound companies at this time. So I was just like, okay, there's something here. And then I was like, Nicola came home, I remember, and I was like, there's nothing there. We just like, why don't we do it?
Yeah.
And then it just like, I had like goosebumps because I was like, oh, maybe this is what we were supposed to do. So I was watching YouTube, how to code, and it was bad. I've told you this story before, but it was bad. And I was like watching a couple hours and I was like, hey, I can do this. I was like coding. So I was watching a bit and I was like getting better every single day. Yeah. It took me like 3 weeks to get a page together. And basically what that was a Uber for beauty. So you could book hair, makeup, massage to your room. It was a marketplace where suppliers, call them makeup artists, masseuse would put on their services. And then as a user, I could go on there and say, this Friday, I'm looking for a makeup artist. Let me book that.
Yeah.
And it grew really, really fast. Like a couple of hundred users in the first day out of nowhere. Then it was 1,000 within a month, 2,000 in a couple of months. And then we was like, okay, we really have something here. And then we was like, do we travel back to the UK and give this a shot? And you can imagine going away for 3 years, coming back to my parents and saying, I've got a business in the beauty space. And then my mom and dad were just like, what have you been doing? Like, they just didn't even believe it. And my friends were the same, right? Like, I had a football background, I've gone away, and now I'm coming back with a beauty tech business. And really, it's a tech business. Yeah. You change that to hotels, it's Airbnb. You change it to taxis, it's Uber. Change it to beauty, it was basically that was our business. And then it was just like, it was horrible. The first like 4 months coming back, moving back in with my parents, I was living in that spare room, and constantly my friends were just like, what are you doing? And I just like was constantly getting back at that every single day.
You're battling against them all the time, knowing that what you want to do is the right thing in your mind, but you're fighting against it all the time.
I think it's hard, right? I think when I always like, I'm from a small town where there's no one starting their own businesses. The businesses that are being started are construction, like freelancers, but no one's starting like tech businesses. No one didn't know how to raise capital. I didn't know what a pitch deck was. And I was like, this company was growing like UK wide and fast, and like thousands of bookings every single week. Me and Nicola were making it up as we go along. Yeah. And then before we knew it, we were like, okay, how do we grow the team? How do we raise investment? And then my friends were just like not seeing any progress because I was living at my mom's parents and driving Nicola's like purple KA to football. And there's a quick story actually I'm going to tell you is that I never told people like what we were doing, like really how good it was going. And there was a press article that came up and it was like, Mansfield couple make 250K on like in this year. And it went in the press and then all my friends and everyone was like, oh my God, you're doing so well. I've been doing the same thing for 6 months. I just didn't tell them. Yeah. And like, they just couldn't believe that I was driving Nicola's car and living at my mum's parents if I'm making money. And I was just like, because everything's going back in and there's a bigger picture. And they couldn't get that because at that stage at 25, you're financing BMW 1 Series, right? Like A-Class and Mercs. And I wanted to do that as well. but I was like preparing myself for like later on.
Yeah, but it's that discipline, isn't it? So you're holding that back because you know that what is in the future is going to be bigger than what it could be. You know, having that BMW, or there's no real value to that, is there? It's more showy off.
Oh, for 100%. I think for me is I do like nice things, but I was just preparing for the long-term goal, which is I wanted to get out of my town, and I knew like I could have built a very successful business there and lived very comfortable. It was like, how do we take this internationally? If I want to do that, I'm going to have to take investors on. And I started looking around my town, like speaking to people, like investors, and like there was no one in my network. And I was like, I need to get to like London. I just need to meet people there. And I realized that, wow, like your like network is your net worth. And I was like, right, I'm just going to spend like 3 months, 2 days a week just trying to get down to London to try and meet people. Okay. And then that was like how we got our first investors.
Yeah. So how much did you raise for that business?
So it raised like, well, over the stage when we raised capital, we raised about 150,000, but then we ended up getting a partial acquisition. Yeah. So for us, it was, we were raising a bunch of capital for that business. And there was a lot of like hard no's, and we'll probably go into that, like that journey there. But it was a lot of hard no's, a lot of like, what experience do you have? Like, you've never built a tech business. Yeah. Why would we give you £150,000 to build this or scale it? And then we basically got approached by a public company that was going public and said, look, we can see your data. They were a big makeup brand. And it was like, if we can understand your data, we can market our products to them. So they basically acquired 50% of the company, and we worked with them to rebrand, scale it, and do that internationally. And we spent a year, and then me and Nicola moved on after a year.
Yeah. And what was that process like? So you've gone from being your own boss, managing your own time, to then effectively working with someone or for someone. Some may see it. That's a bit of a mindset shift.
We became an employee, really. Yeah. And also, I talk about this a lot, and I always say, in your early 20s, where do you get the opportunity to sit alongside a CEO that's worth, these companies worth $500 million, there's 400 people in the office, it's international. You don't get to do that in your early 20s. So when me and Nick understood the what was happening, we was like, okay, if we spend a year here just shadowing this guy, learning what to do, what not to do, how a board works, like why did they have board meetings? Who's this guy coming in? What does he do? Like the processes of a 5-person company, which we were, could do more in a week than we could do in a month in there, because we had so many processes. And I get it's a bigger beast, but it was just to understand like what works, what doesn't work. Yeah. So once we felt like we'd learned enough, then we was like, okay, we need to move on.
Yeah, I'm noticing a theme though, because that is things that people are not normally prepared to do, you know. But again, you're looking at the bigger picture. What can I take from this situation to, I assume the goal was always to go again and build something, which you're doing now. Yeah.
I think for us, we didn't have a plan then. It was more of, when you're an entrepreneur, you can make decisions every single day. Yeah. Like you can pivot the business. If I want to go in this direction, I can do that. Or I want to go in this direction, I can do that. But what we found is it was really like, I had to sit down and take a meeting. Then we had to decide, then we had to plan, and I had to get a yes, and then we'd go. And I was just like, oh my God, like we're being so stale. But public companies move like that because there's so many processes, and you're dealing with 400 people in the office. You're dealing with hundreds of millions of pounds. You can't just go and say yes to this every day. So it was more of, I was just not liking every Monday. And that got to a point where it's like, I was looking forward to Friday, and then I was like, oh my God, Monday's here. And I was like, I built this business really for us, for a market. And now I've took it as far as I feel like I can take it. And now I'm like hating my weeks. Yeah. And that was like 3 months. And I was like, me and Nicola were both the same. It was just like, I think we need to leave. And we could get out a minimum like a year. And I think it was a year and 3 days. We decided like, we're done. Had no plan at all. And we was like, you can imagine our parents, right? It's like, look, you've got a really cushy, nice job. Yeah. You're living in London, you have a nice apartment. Like, why don't you just do this? And we're like, no, we're going to leave.
There's more to life than that though, isn't it?
Yeah. I always say to me, it's like, when I'm 70 years old, I'm going to look back, and I think you're always going to think about the roads you didn't take, not the ones you did.
Yeah.
So I was happy to leave, try something, and I could probably always go back. Or if I don't, I'm going to think about that for the rest of my life. And then when we left, it was, let's go back to the beach. And if we take a year off, we'll figure it out. And I think it was in 4 weeks. We was in Bali, and there was just these run clubs like going past us every single day. And I was like, God, these are like cults. And they weren't just about running. Everyone was like socializing after. And then when we went to the run club, I went to one of these events and everyone's networking. Yeah. Businesses were happening there. I was like, wow, this is like real connection. And then I was like speaking to the founder of the run club saying, like, how do you like organize this? And he's like, oh, I'm using like WhatsApp, Discord. I'm using Eventbrite for tickets. And oh, it's so disjointed. And I was like, okay. So I spoke to another run club. He said the same. And I was like, why is there no platform that like you're hosting one thing? And also as a user, where can I go on and be like, I've gone to Bali for 3 months. I want to meet entrepreneurs. I want to get to a run club. And maybe I'm training for hierarchs. Let me find a community. Where's that? And there was nothing there. So me and Nick were just in a cafe, and we was like, we went to sit for breakfast, and we didn't even have breakfast. We were just like chatting. And then she goes, yeah. And she was just like, Nicola focused on brand and marketing. I focused on product. So we were just like, you know what? Why don't we build a community app? And then we were just like, okay, what would that look like? And then I was like, you go to a different cafe. I'll stay here. I'm going to try and build some app screens. And you come back with like 5 or 6 different brand names and logos. And like, we'll play around. And if we have something, we'll have a look. I think it's an hour and a half later. She calls me and says, I'm coming back. And I've got one name. And I've brought the trademark and registered domain. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, the funny thing is, I had like 9 screens and they were really good.
Yeah.
So we came back and we put it together. And I was looking at hers and she just came back like, it was called The CLIQ, to begin with, and we dropped the like Facebook.
Yeah.
But she, and I was like, oh my God, that's such a good name. And then I was showing her and she was like, oh my God, this is really good. And I was just like, I feel like we need to do this. So I called up a few friends and I was like, I'm going to send you this deck, pull it apart. And then I think 5 of them were literally like, this is insane.
Yeah.
And then we flew home and tried to get in market very quick.
There's a common theme of you going on holiday and coming back with new business ideas.
I think it's the main thing, right? When you're in the city, you get carried away with life. You're pulled and pushed in this direction. Yeah. Where when you're on holiday, you know what it's like, right? When you sat on the beach, like you can be free.
Yeah, your brain relaxes.
Yeah.
It just becomes creative.
And also like I always talk about these ideas, like if something's in my head constantly for like a week, I probably need to play with it. Like, because you have ideas all the time. But that when we was like this and we was like, okay, this is really cool. Like after that meeting when me and Nick put it together, we were excited. That night we couldn't stop talking about it. I went to sleep, I couldn't even sleep. So I was like, oh God, this is a real big opportunity. Next day I was like searching I downloaded every community app. Why it didn't work, researched like old ones,
yep.
Who raised money, who didn't, who did well, why did they do well. And I was just like, oh my God, like I got the fire in my belly again.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you just, like that step is just one more brand name, logo, Figma designs, editors, product in market. Just keep going.
Yeah. We're going to come back to CLIQ in a bit, but you've mentioned Nicola quite a few times.
Yeah.
So you obviously built a business and are building a new business with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
What's that like?
This is the number one question we get asked.
Yeah.
It's, you know what, it's amazing. It is hard. It is very, very hard. Because you don't turn off. But business is 24/7.
Yeah.
So I'm not waving the flag to say go and start businesses with your partners, because like, I just don't think you should be doing that. But we have really complementary skills. So I said, if I wasn't, when you go to these like YC combinators or people go into these like activations, try and find a founder, is they put 1,000 people in a room and they do like tasks to do it. Mm-hmm. I reckon if me and Nick were put together, we'd pick each other anyway. Yeah. Just because she has brand and marketing to a T and I have product. So we aligned really, really well. And I think in business, the number one thing that I always see businesses fail at is co-founder relationships. Yep. And it's trust. because, and it's never to do with the business, it's to do with life. Like, let's say you're in your early 20s, me and you are in business together, you're in your late 30s, you're in your mid 30s, I'm in my mid 20s. When we start moving forward with the business, and let's say it makes $1 million, we go to 10 million, you might have different life ambitions to take money off the table. Well, I might be like, look, I'm not even 30 yet.
Yeah.
Let's go for more. And you'll be like, well, I'm going to have kids soon. Like, I'm going to get married, or I want to do this. Like, I'm ready to sell. That is the beginning of it. You need to be life aligned. Yeah. And we always say for us is we're business aligned, but more importantly, we're life.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest thing for us.
It's massive. And I think, you know, just generally, if you're a co-founder or, you know, you've got business partners, having that communication from the outset of what you're, you know, exactly that, what are your life goals? What do you want to do by X date? And that has to be really aligned. And then it becomes about business, doesn't it? Because, like I say, if you're not, the business can only go to a certain level before you've got a big issue.
You just got to know your end goal as well. Like, what are you doing it for? Like, is it a lifestyle business? Is it to sell? Is it to make money? Are you both in it to, like, go to the ends? And also, I know she works as hard as me. Like, I can see her every day.
Yeah.
So, like, when, like, I'm starting a podcast right now, if I was sat on podcasts every single day with a different co-founder I didn't live with, she wouldn't understand. They probably wouldn't understand what I'm doing. Where, like, she sees me every night. I'll go and work till, like, midnight tonight to make up for the time that I'm not working now.
Yeah, yeah.
So she sees that. And, like, if we have an idea, like we say with the beach, when you sat there and the ideas come to you, most of our ideas come to us sat around dinner at night or going for a walk or watching TV. I would have to Slack someone, maybe WhatsApp them and think, is he sat at home with his girlfriend? Is he out for dinner? Oh, I'll wait till 8 a.m. I've lost the fire.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I had this idea last night. I forgot it. Where we just go.
The momentum's gone as well.
Yeah, sometimes we're just like, oh my God, this idea. We put up laptops. We forget we're even doing dinner and we're just like working and be like, well, we got that out of the way.
Yeah.
And like, that's what we have to do. So to answer is great. It is tough in the same thing, but without the relationship, we'd be great co-founders anyway.
Be aligned, yeah.
It's just the business and life is better.
What happens when you don't agree on something?
It's very, very rare. So we always talk about, I'm like fire, she's like ice. She's very, very calm. I'm like, not in panic mode, but like I'll get stressed very easily and I want to like do things here and now and right now.
Yeah. Where
she was very calm, so that helps us. But we've done this before. We know that it's not to this stage, and this is way bigger than our last business already, is that we kind of know the process of what happens. We know that there's going to be great days and there's going to be tough days. And we've had some really tough days in the business, and she's helped me through it and I've helped her through it. And that's like, yeah, kind of where it aligns massively.
Yeah, and I suppose you get to see that, like you say, from each other. So if one of you's had a really tough day, the other one is important, obviously, that they help bring you back up and you sort of balance each other out.
I always think that, I don't know if you've seen this as well, like my friend was actually an investor in CLIQ. He was talking about how he's an entrepreneur, he has his own thing, and his wife works in a school. And he'll come home and be like, oh God, I've had such a stressful day. And she's like, no, I've had one. And they kind of, not exactly competing for the stress, but like they're both like, when me and Nick will come home, we don't need to say anything.
Yeah.
We will know what day it's been. And it's very rarely we'll both sit there and just be like, oh my God. Like one of us will just be like, we need to get out of this. We'll just go for a walk. So it's very rarely we're like down because we both can't be down because the business doesn't run without us. So yeah, it's like there's been so many couples that have made great companies, like Canva's one of them.
Yeah.
They're a couple. And some investors like it, some investors don't. But for me, I don't really care. Like I think
if
for
it
us,
works for you,
yeah,
and you get the results that you want, then it doesn't matter.
I think like some of these founders, you ask them, how long have you known each other? And it's like, oh, I've known each other 8 months. Like, how 8 months? Yeah. Like me and Nick have known each other 15 years. Yeah. Been together like nearly 10. I know when she's feeling a certain way. And like, even like separately to that, not just even like me and Nicola being in a relationship, I think more companies should have a female and a male at the top. Because when you go into a room with investors or you're at a sales pitch, sometimes you need male energy. Sometimes you need feminine energy.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's sometimes when we've been in a meeting, I was in one yesterday, and a woman was delivering something where she was talking about, she was an investor. She was talking about how she's got 2 young daughters and how social media. And Nicola knew to lead this conversation. She knew that she could tell them from her perspective what it's like being a female on social media. They understood. They connected way more. I wouldn't say I wouldn't get her investment, but we definitely got it because Nick was there.
Yeah.
And that's because it was like, she could connect at certain points. And maybe like there's a guy in the room who's very masculine and I connect more to him because I know the energy that he needs to like feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's a really good point. To be fair, not one I thought of, but you can bounce off each other to bend the situation to your advantage, in effect.
Yeah, it's like...
Which you need to do in business.
Yeah, and think after every meeting, like we don't do every meeting together, but we're doing investor call together if we go to the second pitch. And we can like help each other on what went well and what didn't. So when Nicola's speaking, I will be looking at each investor's like their body language. When she says something, do they like it or not? So I can tell her like, when you said that, they really like that. And like when you said that, I felt like, where can you do that? Like you go into a meeting, you're like, okay, that was good. How good was it? Like she can tell me what I did. So it's like we're always improving.
Yeah, yeah.
Which helps.
Always helps.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about CLIQ then. So obviously it's a business I know well, and we've known each other, what, a year and a half now, has it been?
Must be,
I
right?
invested in CLIQ early last year.
Yeah, I don't know how we're 50% away through this year already.
Madness.
It is
madness. Time is flying. But tell us, what is CLIQ?
Yeah, so CLIQ is a community app focused on connecting people online and offline through communities. And what we mean by that is, the mission is, I want to walk through Hyde Park and see 15 different groups, book clubs, run clubs, connecting.
Yeah.
The thing for me is that I grown up with Facebook, where it connected us to our school and our next school. It was a real social networking. Everything after that has been media. It's been scrolling, it's been consuming, our feed is not full of our friends anymore. Yeah. It's full of brands, it's full of influencers. And now we're disconnected. Loneliest generation has ever been. It's not 18 to 25, it's across ages and genders. Like, I speak to my mom, she's lonely. I speak to my 21-year-old sister, she's lonely. And the 21-year-olds don't have a social networking right now. So we're here to change that. I want people to connect online, find their tribe, their community. And it's not about 100,000 people in a group. It's about real niches. It's about, you're a foodie, but maybe you're a vegan. I don't know, whatever it is. It's about the real niches and connecting through that, online and offline.
Yeah, I mean, when we first spoke, I resonated massively just because I saw the exact same issues that you mentioned, you know, the loneliness thing and the lack of friends that I think COVID had a massive impact on that. You know, people were disconnected for a long time, but social media rather than social network has contributed to that massively. I think it's just disconnected people, and obviously you're trying to drive people back together. What does community mean to you in a nutshell?
I think it's different for everyone, but I think, you know, when you walk into a room and you meet someone and you just know you're going to be friends with them, like, you know, you have something in common. Yeah. Like, I've seen it so many times. So, right, I went to like a London Girls Book Club. They did an event and I like stood on a corner and like watched how they interacted. There was so much noise. Like they were so interacting with each other. Yeah. It was just insane. And they connected through books. Like, obviously they go to the book club, but it is a pure community. Yeah. Like, it is huge. And then you go to the run clubs and it's not just a run club. We have probably 100 different ones, and it's from like plodders who are people that basically run, walk marathons, or they do it at a slower pace. So you find them people there, and then you go to like a PB and Jam, which are people in Nike, Vaporflies, spending £300 running like 5 kilometers. So they're super fast. Yeah. They're all different, but you know, if you go to that, you'll find a certain demographic, and you'll find a certain demographic, completely different people. And you need to find your community, because I think people have lost that. Like, if you go back 20 years, 30 years maybe, and I asked my parents, it's like, the communities used to be the local pub on the end of the road. There used to be the churches. There used to be community centres. Right now, pubs are shutting down more than ever. Yeah. Community centres are not a thing. So we don't have these third spaces. We don't have anywhere to connect. So if this generation don't have anywhere to find their people, it's going to have a big impact.
Massive, because even, you know, working culture's changed. You know, people working from home, they're sending Teams messages or WhatsApp messages rather than jumping on the phone or having in-person meetings. So that disconnection has become more and more and more, hasn't it? I've been to a few of the CLIQ events, and you know, what you said, you know, is bang on. Is that everyone is so engaged, they're so present in the moment, because what they actually want to do is meet people that are like-minded and sort of build that community.
I think me and Nick were starting it as well. It was like we seen the problem. Like, I consider myself a quite confident guy. I moved to London and I felt lonely. And I was like, I'm in maybe one of the busiest cities in the world, and I'm not meeting people. And I was like downloading all these apps, trying to find connection, trying to find a football team. And I was like, it's so difficult. And then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to forget about it. And I started working, and then I was down to work, had this free time, and I was like, I know I have this free time, like, how do I meet people? So that we seen the problem ourselves and then went and built it. Like, Nicola has her own community on CLIQ. Ella, who works for us, has her own community. Yeah. She built the largest girl walking club in the country. Like, we're all had the problem. So I understand from a male perspective how we are not as great as females as creating communities. We have ego.
Yeah.
We're a little bit more proud. You don't want to make out to me you need connection. It's just what guys are like. But I see these new communities popping up, the high arts community, or the book clubs, or these men's circles. They're all finding their like community, and guys need it more than ever.
Yeah, guys need it massively. But I think that is changing now. I think more men are open to that sort of thing now, aren't they? And are speaking out a little bit more than what they may have done 5-10 years ago.
I think it's role models. I think role models are changing. I think guys are being a little bit more open about it. Yeah. They're saying, okay, I want to get out on the weekend. It's not just about going to the pub, but this wellness trend is moving fast. Like, I don't know if you've seen this arc in Canary Wharf where it's like sauna and ice bath.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Have you been to it?
No, I haven't been to it. No.
We should go. I want to go, but I hate ice baths. But like, this is, the community there is insane. It's like people are ditching their Friday nights, drinking in the pub to go to a DJ called Arcs After Dark, where they go to sauna with 60 people and then an ice bath, and then they put a DJ on. Like, 10 years ago, that wouldn't happen. No. Like, people, like I said, I came from a generation where I went to uni, you always would have a drink in your hand. Yeah. Now, this new generation might be the first generation that don't like really drink as much.
I think you see the trends. I mean, even, you know, nightclubs are shutting, bars are not busy, people are just not as interested, you know.
I think when we talk about the third space as well, which is like, you mentioned earlier, it's like one where you're home, your work, and then someone was where you socialise. Between COVID, we mixed all three. So now we work from home, obviously we live and work at home, and then we're socialising through our phones at home. Yeah. So like people now, we call CLIQ like the digital third space, and that's where you got to go and find it. Because it's hard, right? Like, if you don't have connection, you move to a new city, whatever that is, you're going to struggle to like succeed, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned earlier that, you know, you work a lot, you work late, you put in the hours, and last year that had a bit of an impact on you, with a bit of a health scare.
Yeah.
So the purpose of this podcast is, you know, we're getting into the minds of driven people, and, you know, we want to give value and inspire others. So people might be going through similar situations where, you know, they're working really hard, but I think it's good to see both aspects of that. So tell us a little bit about what happened last year. Yeah,
it was crazy. It was like, had a stroke, and for me it came out the blue. When I look back, maybe I wouldn't have predicted a stroke, but maybe like a not breakdown, but maybe like I could have burnt out. Maybe it was a better thing. I was probably working 12, 30, maybe 14 hours a day, and then going to the gym, trying to do everything. Yeah. So I was burning kind of from both sides. I was working really hard. I was like, I need to be fit. I need to be on top of the business. I need to be socializing. All these three. What I've realized now, I can have 2 out of the 3. So if I want a great social life in the summer, probably work needs to be like slowed down, or I need to like slow down on like working out and going to the gym.
Yeah.
So like I can only have 2 of the 3 at one point. I can never have all 3. And I was just doing that for like, I think it was like 3 months. So came back from Glastonbury, was working really hard. Business was growing really fast. I was like seeing friends a lot. I was going to festivals. I was like getting up at like 5 a.m, going to the gym. And then just one morning, I went to let the cat in the room and went back to Nicola to say like morning. And I just couldn't speak. And it was like a robot. I was like, and I was like, oh, I'm half asleep. So I went to the bathroom, turned the tap on, went to like chop water on my face. My arm was like, didn't come up. But I was also thinking that I'm not having a stroke. So I was thinking, one, I'm half asleep and I've slept on my arm, it's dead. See, that's what you're thinking, right?
Yeah.
So I go back into the I like go to say to her, it's like, oh, I've slept on my arm and I can't speak. And I still couldn't speak. And then I was like, she just turned the light on and she was like, oh my God, are you having a stroke? And I was like, am I having a stroke? Obviously, I'm still sounding like a robot here. So I'm just like, literally like, I was pacing up and down the bedroom for like 15, 20 minutes. Like, no way at 30 years old am I having a stroke. That's what I was saying. I was screaming it. And I was holding onto my hand, like, I think I'd drawn blood because I was just like squeezing my hand that much. Like, I was like, no way, this is coming back. And then I think 20 minutes, I could say a word. And then 40 minutes, I could say a sentence. And then 7 hours it took my arm to get back. And then I think it was like 48 hours I was fully back. But when I look back, I was just burning it from both sides, like literally both sides. So, yeah, I call it like these 3 points now, like social, health, and like work. And I have to kind of pick 2 and go heavily on that. So like, Maya Chora, she talks about how the seasons, I don't want to butcher this, but I'm going to. It's like seasons, like a farm, you know, where you harvest, you like sow, and then you grow. Yeah. So she talks about how you need to pick that in your life throughout the year. So like find years where you're going to have to hibernate. You're going to have to like sit back, reflect, maybe go to the gym, start eating healthy, like no socializing. And then there's sometimes where you're going to need to grow, and that's in your business. That's putting foot to the floor. That's like, you're going to be working 12, 14-hour days. And there's going to be parts where you can like, okay, now I get to enjoy a little bit. Summer's here. I can like go out on a Friday, but then like fitness. So there's all these things. So, yeah, I've started to now prioritize rest a little bit more.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my question, is what has changed since then? But so I feel like you've been fairly reflective after that and realised that you might have needed to make some lifestyle changes. But in the moment, that must have been pretty scary.
Yeah, you just don't think, right? Like at 30 years old, like a stroke. Like even when the ambulance turned up, I could speak. I just like, I put my arm out and it just dropped. And she was like, I don't think you've had a stroke, but it looks like you have. She just took me to the hospital and did tests and was like, yeah, you've had like a minor stroke. And I was just like, I wanted to find out everything. So I was like, what am I doing? And he was like, look, what it is, I first feel like you're working so hard that your body was like this. And then you just, like, it literally just, I was like, we need to like reboot.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, okay, how can I change my lifestyle? And then I was speaking to Maya, I was speaking to loads of people, and I was like, what am I doing? It's just like, you just like doing 100 mile an hour all year round. Like, and I was realizing that I'm probably not working as great. Now I rest more. I actually work way better.
What does rest look like?
I think for me, it's just like taking breaks. It's like, I really now, it's like, I went on a retreat a couple of months ago. Yeah, I'm going on a retreat next week.
Nice.
For 2 nights. I'm taking my laptop, but I'm just getting out of the city. And in those 2 days is I will just design, and I'm just like thinking. So I'm like, where do I see CLIQ in 3, 6, 9, 12 months? Yeah. And where's like a crazy big goal, and like how could we get there? And we just spend like hours thinking, and I just feel so much better.
Yeah, so you get out of your environment and you get into that creative state of mind and flow.
Because I think the city I absolutely love London, and I'll never ever leave, I don't think. But it is a beast.
Yeah, it's great.
And it holds of you, and there's always like a bigger fish and something you want to strive for. There's always someone doing better and bigger and raising capital and doing this, and you think like that you achieve something, and I'm trying to like enjoy building. So like when something great happens, I'm trying like, okay, let me enjoy that. Before I'm just like, okay, let's go. And so just trying to enjoy the moment a little bit more.
That's a really good lesson. And funnily enough, I think we've touched on that on all our episodes so far, is that you've got to enjoy the journey. It's not always about the destination, because as entrepreneurs, I catch myself in this all the time, is you accomplish something, what's next? What's the next thing? And you're constantly chasing. And without that, you're not enjoying, you're not being present.
Yeah. This building's the most exciting thing. Like, if I wasn't getting paid, I'd do this for free. Yeah. Like, I really would. Like, I was, with me and my friends talking about, like, we were on holiday and I don't know, it was a big luxury. It was like 200 million. And we were talking about, if you won that, what would you do? And I was like, I would still do CLIQ. Like, even if I had 200 million pounds, like, given to me, I would just like, okay, let me go and invest in CLIQ. Like, I would just go and do that. It's not obviously, I'm not doing this for free. This is $1 billion opportunity. But even if I was given 200 million, I would still wake up tomorrow and do CLIQ. Yeah. So I know I want to do it.
That's when you know you're aligned and you're working on something with purpose.
It doesn't feel like work as well. And that's why like people do get, like they start with like, it wasn't like, I felt like I was burning out. It's like when I'm at home, I just want to work. Yeah. And like, I miss it. Like when I went to Glastonbury and I don't have Wi-Fi, like I miss like doing something, progressing. So yeah, always trying to enjoy the moment is so hard as a founder.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to do 3 quick fire questions and then we're going to do something else. But what is the #1 book you could recommend?
Ooh. I'm not a big reader, but the one like I really got through really quick was like Stephen Bartlett's first book. I just found it really simple, like, and then Myra Torres is great. I'm a big like manifester and I visualize a lot. Yeah. So I spend like on the weekend, me and Nick will sit for like 2 hours and just put on music and I can like visualize things. Mm-hmm. So even to the point of like the car I want, I can like see myself in it. Yeah. I can see myself driving it. I can like, the house I've always wanted to build, I've like walked through it a million times. I know where like a picture will be or what colour the room will be or like what cars will be on drive, what dog I'll have, all these things. And like I'll do that. And like Maya's book is really great at this. Like it doesn't just give you the fluff. She like gives you stages and like exercise to do throughout the book. It's really, really good.
Yeah, no, I've got it.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Yeah. You've got a few plugs for Maya there as well. So
yeah,
she's really buzzing with that. Was that something you could do before you'd spoken to her, or was that something she's kind of taught you and trained you into doing, is the visualization stuff?
Yeah, I realised I've talked about Maya a lot, haven't I? Plug her a lot. She's part of our advisory board, so I feel like that's, when we was building at that, people forget to bring in people like her.
She's amazing.
They also go for like people in business, but you forget like you need to make you as a founder better. Yeah. So having like people like that. But I always used to do it. I just didn't really know what it was. So obviously you've seen like The Secret book, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I didn't even know like about that. I would just sit, even when I was like 16, I would just like visualize things. And then the more I start to see it and look at it, and then I was always really, really intrigued. And then I feel like you find your people, like Maya was like more talking about like sport. And now you see that sport, some of the top CEOs, and when you listen to their stories of like the Reddit founders, the Mark Zuckerberg, all them, they like visualize a lot. Like Tony Robinson's like visualized a lot. Yeah. Conor McGregor, like how he talks about how when he beat Jose Aldo, when he like seen the punch. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And he like visualized.
I listen to a lot of his stuff, Conor McGregor. Yeah. He talks about that a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, and The Secret, he was there. He like visualized the punch and did it before. He knew that was gonna like. It's crazy. Yeah. And also for some people, it feels a bit like voodoo. Like, it feels like, but once you get it, you really get it.
Once you feel it, it's there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not been too quick fire. So
yeah, sorry.
What's one habit you live by?
I'm going to get a really recent one. I work out in the mornings now. Okay. And it's made my day so much better. So I get up earlier. I used to like leave my workout to like halfway through the day and give myself a break. But then what I'd find is like a really busy day I'd miss. These are supposed to be quick fire. But now I do mornings.
Yeah, okay. And what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Best piece of advice I've been given. Let me think on this. There's so many. I think the best piece of advice I've been given is everyone's making it up. So what I mean by that is the guy I met who had a $500 million company, I thought it was going to be like, I don't know, I wouldn't even be able to hold a conversation with him.
Mm.
He's just got great people around him, just making it up as he goes along. And that's like really like refreshing to know. It's like even these people making crazy big businesses are really just making it up as they go along. They don't really know. They have some idea, but they are making it up as they go along.
It's interesting. Everyone's the same at the end of the day, aren't they? Just people have got different experience, different knowledge that they can act upon. But I heard something earlier, and it's just, everyone's got the same amount of brain cells, just how they use them. Yeah,
it's just, obviously, if you're Elon Musk, you're probably a different beast, right? But like, I've seen so many founders with like crazy big businesses, and you ask them like how they got to that. It's just like one step at a time. It's never been, I'm going to build $1 billion company. Like, that's the dream. But there's a step like every single day that we have to hit. Yeah. And it's the 1% that add up massively.
It's like, I used to listen to this speech by Will Smith a lot. I don't know if you've heard it, but he talks about when he was a kid, his dad made him build, him and his brother made him build a wall. And he bashed into them that it's not about building a wall, it's about laying each brick as best as you can possibly lay it.
I never heard of this.
And soon you have a wall, but it'd be the best wall.
I've never heard of that. It's quite cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good. I've never heard that.
Part of what we do in each episode is we ask each guest to give 3 pieces of actionable advice to our guests. The reason we want to do that is because we want to drive as much value and help them as we can. And obviously, all of our guests come from different backgrounds or different have different experiences. So, what would your pieces of advice be to anyone listening?
I think the first one is if you have a really great idea and you feel like it, you have to play it out. Don't sit on it. Like, really cheesy, but someone said it before. It's like the graveyard has got like so many amazing business ideas. People just take them to the grave. And like, you all know so many people, like they have this idea and they tell you how great it's going to be. And you'd be like, go and do it then. And they'll find every excuse. So just start, play it out. And number 2 is build your network. Like, that is the biggest thing. Yeah. Like, it's not going to be your idea that gets you funding. It's going to be your network. And then 3, choose the people around you. Choose your circle very tightly.
I love that.
So like, I think the most important is your partner.
Yeah.
That's going to make or break you. And then secondly, who's in your company? Who do you speak to the most? Who's the 5 people you can call up in like bad times, but more importantly, good times? Yeah. So like my friends, like I have loads of friends, but there's like certain guys I can call in good times and bad times, but the good ones are the important ones. So like I don't want to feel like I'm bragging, but like I can go to him and celebrate my wins and he will celebrate that.
Yeah. You feel like they're actually supporting you.
Yeah. And you figure that out as you grow, right? Like as you'll outgrow some people, you'll find new people, and there'll be people who have been there from the beginning. And it's just part of it. It's finding your community.
Yeah. It's like the famous Jim Rohn quote, isn't it? You become the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with.
It's so true though. It just rubs off. Like, if I'm in London, I probably wouldn't want half the stuff I want to do, and I didn't realise that you can go and raise £10 million. I just didn't even know that was possible. Yeah. But because I've seen people do it, I know it's true. So like, you don't know what you don't know, but the more people I hang around with, and I've seen companies, a guy go from an idea to make 400 million, whatever it is, I know it can be done. Yeah. So like just hanging around with people, it rubs off so much. You can't be in a room with 5 people that are building businesses and you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to do 9 to 5. Yeah. Even if you don't want to, it just rubs off.
Yeah, no, of course. It's like even if, someone was talking about an analogy, if you're playing golf with 4 professional golfers, you're still going to lose, but that would be the best round of golf you ever play. Yeah. Because you're just going to raise your level.
Yeah, I just can't believe I'm in business, like how many doors open if you're in the right rooms. Yeah. Like literally just putting yourself with the right people at the right time. Your network is so important. Like I met so many great people just like literally just being in the right rooms.
No, I love it. And I hope everyone, takes that, because very simple advice, but very, very, good advice that everyone should be thinking about. But Jason, it's been amazing having you on. Thank you very much for being on the Driven podcast, and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning into the Driven podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Drop a comment to let us know what you found most insightful, but most importantly, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. I'll see you in the next episode.